Hello and welcome to Bonsai. Today I want to show you the first stage of a bonsai, how to create a bonsai, because I know you can buy bonsais, but I have a few cuttings here. You can buy bonsai from online shops, from shops, from nurseries, tree nurseries. You can start a bonsai in a lot of ways. You can buy beautiful bonsai, but my channel is for bonsai beginners. Okay, so what I want to show you today is how to create your own bonsai from scratch. Okay, even though you can buy bonsais from a lot of places, they're expensive, but if you're a beginner in this art, you need to create your own bonsai from scratch, because this is the way to learn how to make bonsai. You need, by doing this, even if they're not a high quality species, this is a Ficus benjamina. It's not a very high quality material, but you earn something much more valuable. You earn knowledge. You learn what the tree needs, because you will be doing this in the future. So you will want in the future to create another bonsai from your bonsai. So First of all, you will learn, you will understand how the tree in the pot, a tree in the pot works. What does he need? When to water it? How the roots grow? You need to learn all this stuff. I have here two types of cuttings. This cutting I've just made just now. You can see it doesn't have any roots. I'm gonna show you one method, and here we have more cuttings that I've planted them in water, and as you can see they have a lot of roots. And if we can separate one, this will be pretty hard because I let them grow by their own, didn't disturb them, and the roots kind of fuse together. So if we can separate them without breaking too much roots, maybe I will be able to show you how this works. I think this is good. Yeah, let's see here if we can separate more of them. As you can see, they have roots, and I've managed not to break them too much. So I'm gonna try to choose a thicker tree and put the others back in the water. I like this one, so I'm gonna keep it. So let's start with this guy that has roots on it, already has roots on it. It rooted just in plain water, but this, I've told you in a previous video, these are water roots. So we need to create a mini greenhouse because these water roots need to develop into soil roots, okay, for the tree to work. These are born in the water. They only know water since they have born. So we need to transform them into soil roots. So this being said, I got a mesh here. I got a very cheap plastic pot. I bought here some volcanic rocks, some big particles. I'm gonna use them for the bottom dressing. Okay, so now I'm gonna come with my potting mix. This contains perlite and peat moss, okay, and a little sphagnum moss, just a little. So this is the best mix, about 50-50 of peat moss and perlite. This white stuff, you can get it anywhere. So let's begin. Quite a generous amount, don't worry about that. Okay, now if I can find it, I'm gonna take my little chopstick, my little Chinese chopstick, and arrange the substrate a little bit. You can see it how it gets compacted and it drops down, okay? Not too much. For now it's okay. And I'm gonna create a little hole in the middle. Take my little tree, just place it and dress the top. Careful now not to damage too much of the roots. And if I'm gonna get it a little bit wet, and you will see it will stabilize. Push it down. And now it's a lot more stable. I can even water the tree a little bit. Stabilize it a little bit more. The tree is okay, the tree is fine now. Put some more substrate and repeat the process. Okay. The design of the tree is not a concern right now. We don't care about the design. We just want this tree to grow new roots, to transform its roots, and to be healthy. Okay, let's get on with the second cutting. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna cut the lower part of the trunk at a 45-degree angle. Okay, and second of all, I'm gonna start to get rid of a lot of these leaves, because the tree will not be able, because it doesn't have roots, the little cutting will not be able to sustain that much amount of leaves. So we need to make it a little bit smaller, first of all. Okay, I think this is fine for now. Here and there. Okay. What I'm going to do with this one is use a little bit of root hormone. Okay, this is root hormone. It's very good. This is the little pot. Again, big particles at the bottom, and our potting mix. I can fill the pot. This pot, I can fill it to the top. Again, just a little bit with my little Chinese chopstick. Moist it. Make a little hole in the middle. Okay. Take my little cutting. Put some powder on it. Okay, drain the excess, this is fine, and straight in. A little more potting mix. Okay. What I'm going to do now is take them to the shower and get rid of all the dust from the particles. All the dust must go out of the pot, and it must go now. So I give them a very thorough watering. Okay, water them with a shower, just with a shower, cold water of course. Make sure that the water that drains through the bottom is free of any kind of dust, white dust, black dust. Okay, when the water starts to run clear, then you're fine. So this little fellow here will develop roots harder, and I will need to take more care. Okay, watch it closely. This will be fine faster. This will be because it already has roots. But what I need to do now with both of them, it doesn't matter, is take I have a plastic bottle here, big bottle, spray it inside, keep it moist, okay, and put it on top of my tree like this. Okay, I will take this out of the sun. I will it needs light, but not so much. I will place it inside my house because even though it's the air is very dry inside the house, this will be fine because it has a lot of moisture here. Okay, I can keep this for about a week. This will be fine. This on the other hand will take about 2 weeks to be sure. Keep it with a bottle like this. So of course, I'm saying it again, I'm repeating myself, out of the sun, because it will cook. And also, if you put the tree in this stage, the cuttings that are in this stage, you put them in a darker area, they will grow roots faster. Because if it has a lot of light, he will put, especially this one, okay? Because, let me take this aside, because this little one needs to, it doesn't have roots at all. It needs to generate roots now, so it needs to create some cells that make roots. If it has a lot of light, it will spend its energy, because this little stick has energy into it, okay? And if you keep it in too much light, it will produce leaves, not roots. So a darker area, but a little bit of light. Inside the house it's okay, it's better because it's hotter, and it will produce roots faster. So this is the first stage of creating a bonsai. In the next episode we will be talking about this little guy here. This is already stabilized, and we'll be talking about this one. This is in stage 2. Okay, so today I've showed you stage 1 of creating a bonsai. This is step 2. Okay, this already has gone through step 1 about 5 or 6 months ago, and it's now ready because it is a ficus, and ficuses grow roots very fast. This is ready to go to stage 2. So we will be seeing each other in the next episode, when I will be repotting this, because this was potted in the same soil mix as those I told you in the first stage. Okay, and we will be needing to change the substrate on this one, and I will talk you through the operation and tell you why we need to do this, why we need stage 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I will get a share and a like. Please subscribe to the channel to hear more, and don't forget to turn on that little notification bell. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Hello and welcome to Rabonsai. First of all, please subscribe to Rabonsai's channel. Please turn on the little bell so we can get notified when we put on new videos. We try to make good videos, and please support the channel. Today we're gonna talk about fertilizing small pots using organic fertilizers, because small pots are indeed a challenge. Indoors we don't have the same luxuries as we do outdoors. and but in the same time we have different problems with bonsais, and outside there are some other problems. There are good things and bad things uh, indoor, good things and bad things outdoor. It's pretty tricky even to water such small pots, but I mean indoor, but even trickier to fertilize them, because today I want to talk about organic and solid fertilizers. The liquid ones are not a problem, but uh, the solid ones, because they are so big, they're a problem for little pots. So let's talk about that today. This is what I'm gonna be using today. This is Tamahi. These are pellets of Tamahi. Tamahi is one of the best fertilizers, organic fertilizers in the world. It's a Japanese recipe, and they're very, 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 very good. As you can see, there's some white portions, okay, spots on them. This is because this has microorganisms in it, okay, when it's made, in order for these pellets to break down and to be synthesized, because they are not. This is their raw form, and they need to be processed by living things, fungus, and living microorganisms that that manage to break them down and to turn them into something that the tree can take, because the tree cannot take it like this. It doesn't have a mouth like like an animal, so they need to be synthesized. But as you can see, they're pretty big. I cannot put them like this, you know, because they will fall off. Yeah, and because this is full of microorganisms, okay, this, when it gets moist, it gets watered, those microorganisms will come to life and start to decompose it into fertilizer, compost. Tell it what you want to tell it, but that's the logic with organic fertilizers. This is not cheap, but it's very, 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 very good. You cannot find it in the shops. You have to order it from bonsai shops, okay, online, or you can go to them. But I recommend this Tamahi. It's very, very good. Today I want to show you 3 methods which I use to fertilize such little pots with this. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so what I can do now is take my concave cutters and break them into small pieces. Okay, I don't know, I got a small piece here, but you'll see the problem. I can shove it in like this, but it doesn't stay too long. If I water them, if I spray them with water, yeah, they will stay, but it's, you see, it already had destroyed a piece of moss here. But the problem is only the part that hits the substrate will stay moist. And I told you, I talked about it, this needs to stay wet in order to decompose. So what I've noticed during the years is that only the part that hits, okay, the substrate will decompose, and the top part, because the air is so dry in my apartment, will remain like that, and I don't like that. Okay, so method number 1, you can use, these are tea filters. Okay, this is paper, so I can turn them into little pieces and put them inside my plastic bag. I also can turn them into more finer, like dust, okay? But for the sake of the argument, let's do it like this, okay? And take my tree, put it like this. Using a toothpick, ordinary one, I can dig a hole, and here's my fertilizer. As you can see, this is not okay for me. If this would be in a bigger pot, maybe it was okay. I've tried this method, it kind of works, but the same problem. Because of the dry air, this dries out. Only the bottom part that stays on the moss or on the substrate remains wet, and it decomposes. And when you water, it decomposes little by little, and the liquid goes through the paper bag and into the pot. But if you can see, this is ugly. That's not the problem. The problem is if I water this, all the water will flow outside of my pot, make a huge mess. The pot won't be watered correctly, and that's bad. So, and also this can work, I told you, for bigger pots, but be careful for indoor bonsais. It's good, but it stinks. It stinks for like 2 weeks like crazy. So there are possibilities to use this correctly, but I don't like it for me here. So this is one method. You can see this is wet here, but I told you I don't like it. Also, it's good because this is a slow release fertilizer, because it takes time to decompose, and it lasts theoretically for about 3 or 4 weeks until all of it decomposes and gets into the bonsai soil, and the roots can take it. This is a coffee grinder. This is the second method, and I like it the best. This is my favorite method. So just put the pellets hole in there, turn it on, shake it a little bit, just a little bit more. Okay, and now we have powdered tamahi. So I use a cup. Okay, put the lid on. Sorry, put the lid on, and this is good to be stored. What I'm gonna do now is make sure that my soil is, my substrate, okay, is nice and wet. Always before you use fertilizer, it doesn't matter if they're liquid or solid, always make sure that your bonsai container is wet, because the roots, otherwise the roots will suffer. Okay, so make sure it's wet and leave it a little bit. Ideally wet the bonsais in the evening the previous day before you do this. So what can I do now? What I can do now is to take a little teaspoon and just powder it little by little. Okay? Not too much. Okay? And if I let it be. Now, there's two possibilities what you can do right now. You can water straight away. If you water straight away, let me show you what happens. Gentle. this will go almost instantly into the pot. Okay, so this is method 2A. Method 2B is like this. I did the same, water the tree. I'm coming in with a teaspoon, so little by little, okay? Now, the substrate it's wet. What can I do in this method 2B is leave it like this, and I don't water. What will happen is that this tamaki will start to get moist, and it will stay there because it's kind of sticky. And what will happen is if I don't water now, I'm starting to water tomorrow, this will stay a lot more time on it like this, because it will dry up, it will get wet, and it will get mold on it. It will turn white, and that mold will start to break it down little by little by little by little. So the conclusion for method 2 is that method 2A is it will gonna be faster. This is also of course, when we make this fine into a powder, it's you must remember that it's more and more faster. This is slow release because it's hard to break apart a piece so big like this, but when it's powdered, when it's fine, it's not so slow releasing anymore, it's faster. So this won't take 4 weeks to run out. Okay, the tree will take it much faster. Of course, when I watered now, there is a big possibility that a lot of it drained out with the water, but it will stick to the soil. Okay, this one is the method 2B, is slow release. Okay, it will take time. I told you the mold will come and break it apart. It will go in little by little by little by little. Okay, but it will all of it will go in. If I leave it like this, I'm gonna show you what happens because of the dry air. This is an acacia tree that I'm growing and I've grown it from a seed. It's a nice tree. I think it will be very nice. I cannot get it all into the frame. Okay, again, a tree from Africa. We'll talk more about it. But here's the thing that I wanted to show you. All of this is tamaki. Okay, all of these little pellets is tamaki that I put on, I think 3 months ago. And if you can see, they are still there. Okay, they have not decomposed properly, and this is not a good method for me. So what I prefer is method 2A or method 2B. Okay, I'm going I'm liking method 2A better because it's winter now. Usually in the winter I don't use too much organic solid fertilizer. I use only most of the part liquid fertilizers. We will be talking about liquid fertilizers in another video, and I like this better in the winter. Okay, because the air is drier. This won't be able to stay moist all the time. So that being said, let's water this down. Careful, 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 careful. Okay, and here we go. I put a lot of it on this one. Of course, some of it remains on the top surface, and it's very fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So this is how you rush the slow release fertilizer, and this is how you can successfully fertilize small pots in bonsai. This is method 3. I've got here a 2-liter plastic bottle, and what I'm going to do now is put some tamahi pellets into it. I'm gonna break them down. I'm not gonna put them whole because first of all they don't fit through the through the top of the bottle, but also they decompose faster. Here I go. They all go to the bottom eventually because they take on water and they're heavier. I put in about 3 pellets per liter. I can use 4, but 3 pellets it's enough for now. And now we're gonna put the top on. Oh my god, the sun is shining like crazy. And we're gonna shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay, you can see it's starting to break down, and the water is starting to get some color to it. So this is the faster method. You now need to let this decompose and ferment for 2 or 3 days. It depends on the heat, but do not keep it more than 3 days because it will stink like hell, like crazy. Okay, so this is the third method. It's the faster method for fertilizing with organic. Okay, and when you go by the bottle, just shake it, shake it, shake it as much as you can every day for 2 or 3 days, and you can then put it onto the trees. But be careful. This, you have to have guts for this because it stings like crazy. So you can use this method in the summer when the windows are opened, or if you have an open balcony, you can use this without problems. But indoors, never use this method. It's the fastest method for the tree, for the bonsai to take up the nutrients, because it's gonna ferment, it stays in the water, it stays moist, but it stinks. It stinks badly. Okay, you have no idea. So please subscribe to the channel if you like. I hope I can be very helpful. I hope you can understand what I say. I hope this will be good information for you. I'm talking about I'm trying to share my knowledge with the beginners. I'm not a huge great bonsai artist, but I want to show tips and tricks for beginners, and I think I will be doing very soon a series of tips and tricks for the beginners in the bonsai art to understand what we are trying to achieve in this art and try to understand the trees. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to Bonsai. First of all, I want to wish you all a very happy new year. 2024 is here. I started this channel in December 2019, so technically today it's the 1st of January 2024, and we are starting with season number 5. It's been a rough road until here. I used to make my videos in Romanian because I'm a Romanian, but I decided to change it into English so everybody all around the world can watch the videos. I make videos for beginners, so don't expect to see thousands of dollars into bonsais here. This channel is for you, for all the beginners out there that want to start this beautiful hobby. Today I want to talk about this plant. This is a poplar. I've taken a cutting from a tree outside. I want to test it out because always it's good to test things out. Okay, first of all, please subscribe and turn on the little bell for the notifications. Okay, so let's get started with this cutting. So as I told you, this is a poplar. It's a cutting from that I took from a tree outside 3 weeks ago. At some point I thought this is not going to live because all the leaves have dropped off, but I said, you know what, leave it there into the water, little water container. Doesn't take too much space to bother me. And sure enough, after a couple of days, new green leaves have started to emerge, and also we have not a lot of roots, but we have roots. So today I want to transfer it into a container with substrate. So I need to make the transfer from the water to the substrate. This is a delicate point in a cutting life because you have the two possibilities to make some roots into the water or to put it straight into the soil. But in this part of year I thought, you know what, just put it in water and we'll see what happens. So I want to test this out to see if it's a good tree for bonsai. I don't know, but always it's a nice thing to test things out because this is how you learn bonsai. You need to learn bonsai on your own. Okay, you need a teacher. Okay, you need classes. Okay, but your own experience is the best experience that you can have because everything will apply to your conditions. Okay, it's not like general ideas, general things and classes. Of course you have to know those too, but there's nothing compared to your own experience. So this being said, let's go. The sun is going on and off all the time. I'm sorry about that, it's a little cloudy, but it will be fine. So this is my container. I put a little screen mesh on the bottom there. Okay, this is my big particle soil. Okay, it's some volcanic rocks, they're big, and I'm gonna put them on the bottom of the container so the water can drain. It facilitates a lot of aeration for the tree, for the roots, and also keeps the little particles of the substrate from getting out of the pot. This is my substrate. It's a little complex because this being the poplar being a deciduous tree, and now being January, it needs to stay in this container until next spring, the spring of 2025. I cannot repot it until then, so I need to think about that. I was thinking of putting it in a bigger container, but it's okay, it's large enough. This is a half a liter container, and it will be enough for 1 year. So I usually for the propagating pretty much anything, I use a 50-50% mix of peat moss and perlite. Okay, because this is the perfect mix for propagating and generating new roots, because this is the stage where we want to generate roots. We don't want anything else. We want the tree to get new roots and to be healthy, to grow, and we're gonna leave it alone. So this is a little more complicated than usual because of that, because it will stay for 1 year there. I've got perlite, peat moss, sphagnum moss and fired up clay in there, so it can be as healthy as it can. So let's start. As I told you, I'm gonna put the big particles on the bottom. Just a thin layer, I don't want to put too much there. Okay, and now I'm coming with the stuff straight. Arranging it little by little with the chopsticks. Not too much. Okay. This is good enough. What I'm gonna do now is water it a little bit. So it becomes compact and sticky, because perlite it's quite sticky. I'm gonna leave it alone for a few seconds and I will make a hole in the middle. Okay, and put the tree in carefully. Twist it a little so the roots can go in. Got a little root here. Push it down a little bit. Put some more soil in. Okay. Water it a little bit more so it stays put. Because what I'm going to do now is go to the shower and give it a pretty thorough watering with the shower, because we need to get rid of all the dust that's building because of the friction of the particles, and perlite dust is pretty dangerous, okay, because it's very fine, and if you don't get rid of it at start, it can pile up and literally transform itself into concrete, and that's very on the bottom of the pot, and that's very bad for your bonsais and for your plants in general. Shower's done. I don't think you can see it, but the substrate is now pretty compact if I jiggle it around, the tree moves with the pot. Okay, so this is good now and it's compact. This little branch is dried, it's dead. Yes, okay. So what I need to do now, because these roots are water roots, those very white roots that you have seen are roots generated in water. So now we've put the little seedling into substrate. Okay, the roots need to adapt to this substrate in order for the tree to live, because they're expecting water. Now they're not in water anymore. So what we have to do is make sure that the leaves are moist, because until the roots transform into substrate soil roots, they have a very little capacity to make the tree work, especially to get water to the leaves. But generating a lot of moisture to the leaves, it's pretty hard in an apartment. You need a greenhouse. So let's get one. I have here a large plastic container. It's a 6-liter container, doesn't matter. I've cut the bottom part off, and what I'm gonna do now is take my liter spray bottle and spray it inside. Okay, nice and moist. Drain out the excess water and take my little tree, place the bottle on top of the tree gently, and let's hope, yeah, this is perfect. So this is now good to go. All we have to do now is wait. But first of all, I'll need to get it out of the sun. I will only keep the inside of this bottle moist. I've watered thoroughly the tree, the substrate, okay, the pot. I'm not going to water it anymore. I'm gonna check it, but I'm not going to water it because it will stay moist. The tree doesn't have enough roots to take out the water from the container, okay? So it will stay moist for a long time. This technique, it's an easy one. Just be careful. You need to be successful, because this bottle, of course, I'm gonna check it, let it, not let it dry, okay? Keep it moist. But you need to be careful and be successfully fast, because this needs to get not root bound, but it needs to transform its roots into soil roots pretty fast. Because if it stays more than 2 weeks like this, it can die, because bad fungus could appear and eat the roots. Okay, so this needs to work, and needs to work fast. The problem is not the moisture, the problem is the closed environment. That's the problem that facilitates bad fungus. So I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it, and hopefully this will be fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. Again, please subscribe to Bonsai's channel and turn on the little bell. Once again, a very happy new year to you all, and if this goes well, maybe I will create a playlist for it, because I think it's a nice tree. From the design part, I don't know, poplars tend to grow in a certain way, so if this works out, of course I need to design it as a flame style bonsai, because that's how they grow. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to Bonsai. Today I will be trying to do something with this Portulacaria afra. This is a little jade plant. It's not quite a high material for bonsai. I mean, this one in particular, and I'll tell you why. It was grown outside for this year. It's a cutting that I made from a big jade plant, and it's got a large wound here, but it has a nice structure, and I will try to do something with it and talk to you about little jades in this video. And the reason this is not quite a high quality material is because of the internodes. Okay, in bonsai it's all about the internodes, and if you can see here, the internodes are very big. I mean, in all of this trunk there are 1, 2, 3, 4. By comparison, I will show you a high quality material. Okay, this is a high quality material jade plant. You've seen it in previous videos, and if I can show you just how many internodes are there in the trunk, also in the branches. Okay, there are a lot of internodes. This is a high quality material, but let's try to do something with this one too. You see also here in this branch, yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then it's a very big internode. Okay, I want to repot this. I'm thinking about cutting this one, but I don't know for sure yet. Let's see. But I want to cut this one off, but not quite all the way. I mean, I'm gonna leave 2 leaves on it. Okay, this can be rooted very easily, but I'm not gonna do it now because it's too little, it's too thin. Okay, you can root Portulacarias, very thick ones. You can root them very easily, so I will not do that for now. This I can let it grow, I don't know, maybe 1 year. I can let it grow more and then cut it, but something, it's I don't like what's happening here, because I'm starting to get some reverse taper. It's weird, because, and I think it's because of this wound. I'll just fix the tree for now. This is potted in, this is called Kyodama. It's a great bonsai potting mix. Okay, but I've noticed through the years, because I'm I'm struggling. It was quite a struggle with to understand little jades, because I grow them in an apartment, and growing indoor plants indoors all the time is quite a challenge. And I think I also need to spray this tree. I think it's got some pests or something, but I will spray all the trees in the near future. This is very good, but it's got no, it's not got no organic in it. And I've noticed even on these Portulacarias, this being an African plant, I thought, well, it's good and it can stand much drier soil, but in fact it grows better. It has more moisture to the roots, because being an growing indoors, you can see now it's almost January, and it's a lot of sun here, and the air is very dry. So I need to put it in a better soil, and I'll show you now what my potting mix is made of. So these are the 4 elements that make my potting bonsai mix. Okay, soil mix. I cannot tell you the perfect recipe because our environments are different. Okay, I grow them all year round indoors, and I grow them on a balcony, and the air on my balcony, it's pretty dry. It never is never, there's not a lot of moisture, especially now when it's winter. The air it's extremely dry, so that's why I cannot give you a perfect recipe for the soil, the potting mix for your jade plants. You have to test it every year. You have to test it until you see a better development, because the plants will tell you. But these are high quality elements. This is clay. This is burn up clay. This is very, very, very good. Okay, this is volcanic. Okay, it's not fired. It's volcanic rock. Also very good. The burned up clay doesn't hold a lot of moisture. I use it for better air circulation to the roots. This holds up moisture. This is Kyodama. This is also volcanic, but it's fired. Okay, it's a very, very good soil. It doesn't hold a lot of moisture. And of course we have here the sphagnum moss, which I told you it's a very high quality, because if I do it like this, you see, it will be very, very, very fine, and it will mix with all the elements very, very good, and the roots search for it. And if this is very fine, it's better for the roots, and it will consume them. Okay, the sphagnum little by little, and that will be very, very good for the tree. So I told you I decided to use more and more and more of this organic material, but this is very high quality organic material, especially for plants like this that are in development. When we get to refined bonsais, it's another story there, because we don't want so much growth like we do on the ones in development. Okay, so let's get started with the repotting process. This tree, I don't think it's yeah, it's not tied to the pot, so just gonna loosen it. I'm gonna loosen it up little by little. I think I need a little knife to be sure. Yeah, let's see if I put my finger through the hole. I think it will get out nicely. Or not. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Got some nice roots here. We're gonna try to remove the old mesh. I didn't put a bonsai mesh in, and now I'm gonna face the consequences. I will try to remove very few roots. I cannot stress this enough on portulacarias, little jades. Try not to cut too many roots when you repot them, because they recover extremely hard if you cut a lot of roots. And also don't do it like I do. Use dedicated bonsai meshes for the pot. Okay. Let's try loosening up a little more, because I'm gonna cut it, but not too much. Well, maybe just the tips. Yeah, let's see. Let's cut a little bit here and there. Just to fit it better in the pot. And I think this is quite enough. So I've prepared my little pot. I'm using bonsai mesh now. I put some wires to tie the tree from the pot, to tie the tree to the pot, because we need to do that always. We need to tie the tree to the pot. Oh, let's see how this goes. I've got here some fired up clay, and I'm gonna put a nice layer on the bottom. Okay. And I'm gonna start putting potting mix little by little. Okay. I'm gonna look at my tree. And try to find some meaning to it. And we're gonna tie the tree to the pot. Pull on the wires and then twist them. Let's cut them shorter. Pull and twist. Okay. Now with the others. Also cut them shorter. Okay. So a little bit more. And technically now our tree is secured to the pot. Okay, let's cut this excess. Okay, and think a little bit more. It's also hard to secure trees that don't have a lot of roots. And let's go in with the potting mix. Unfortunately, I took off more roots than I wanted, but it's always to be expected. And always you will take more roots than you wanted, especially in these stages. At the beginning of the trees, this is a problem, and it's a bigger problem because we're dealing with little jades. They do not like to be pruned at the roots. So we work our potting mix little by little with the Chinese chopstick that is sharpened. You see, it's sharp. We arrange the soil. Also, we can do this. Ideally, you can take a sieve and make the substrate very fine, but I cannot be bothered with that. I think I will do it in the future, but it's small enough for now, because the smaller the particle get, the faster they break down, and we don't want to repot our bonsais. Ideally, we don't want them to be repotted so often, you know. But with small pots, it's always a challenge. So now, because this is in a higher quality bonsai mix, I think it can stay in this pot for 2 years with no problems whatsoever. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom and give this a very nice shower to get rid of all the dust that was generated during the repotting process. Now, if I look at the tree, I notice something. I like this front. I like this as a front because you can see the structure of the tree, okay? And I want to take this off because if it was grown from here, it would help us, okay? It's with taper. This is generating reverse taper, and I want to take it off, and I will take it off now. It doesn't help the tree, okay? Also, I'm gonna use a knife because we don't want anything growing again from here. Okay, now we got a big scar, but that's bonsai for you. Okay, so also let's clean it up a little bit. let's take off little stubs from previous prunings so they can heal over nicely. Okay, so this is our little jade plant. We'll see how it develops. I'm pretty confident. I told you, not a very high quality material, but I think we can make something out of it. And we'll see each other on the next video. Merry Christmas!